Thank you very much. Well, I'm excited that you're here. We're going to talk for just a little bit about some of what matters most when you think about the faith work movement. I think it happens to be the worker. This morning, about 7 billion people got up and went to work. About 300 million in the United States, about 1.5 billion in China, 1.2 billion in India. Some went to gleaming, expensive, wood-paneled, leather offices that were pretty epic. I've been in some of them, some of yours actually. Some people went to factories where they worked pretty long in poor conditions. Some people were teachers. Some people went to hospitals. Some people own the company. Some people work for those who own the company. Some painted, some picked fruit, some sold products. But one thing was true about all of these people. 70% of them were disengaged from their work. And since today's not Sunday, none of them were in church. In fact, they were in businesses like yours. Sociologist Tony Campolo says this in his book, Carpe Diem. Some people go to work and they just die.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. Can't you hear them saying, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, taking care of business. And I've been working overtime. Looking 9 to 5, what a way to make a living. Everybody's working for the weekend, working for a living back. Don't you try and stop, 'cause I'm walking through the door. You can take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more.
Now, of course, nobody says that in your business, right? At least to your face. But the truth is, people don't want just money for working for you. What do you think they want? David Ulrich, in his book, which is a groundbreaking book in the HR world, after many years of study, says here's what they want: meaning. They don't want money, they want meaning. And as faith-based leaders, we can help them to get meaning through our business. You see, work was happening from the very beginning, and I think it's got a bit of a bad rap, right? Take this job and that. God created work. God's a worker. The Trinity created earth. They put Adam and Eve in the garden and said, what? Tend it. When they messed up and they had to exit, it wasn't that work got a bad rap, it's just that work happened in a different way when we violate God's rules. We're to work on earth, and we're going to work when we get to heaven. Bob Shank is going to talk a little bit more about the kingdom. But even in heaven, we work. So work happened in pre-Genesis, work happened in Genesis, work happened in Deuteronomy to Revelation, and in Revelation at the end of the chapter, we're still going to work in heaven. Work has gotten a bad rap. Work is where, however, we should derive meaning. The secular press is talking about good business. Isn't that interesting? All of a sudden, the secular press, I was shocked going through the Miami airport, looked at this magazine, said it must be a Christian magazine, looked behind the camel's left ear, and it was Business Week. Business Week says people who are very, very, very wealthy, some of the billionaires of the world, have finally decided to do good business. Now, you can't see it on the screen, but at the bottom right, kind of like under an In-N-Out burger cup, there's a verse so small, you need a magnifying glass, and it says Matthew, which is the verse from which this comes, right? It's hard for a rich guy to go through the, what? Eye of a needle. So here's a great visual that says, well, even though it's hard, people are still trying to do good work. I was on a plane going to Haiti lately. I'm not that smart sometimes, and there I'm sitting on the plane, and I keep seeing these people in the same colored t-shirt. I kind of was thinking to myself, why are all these people wearing green shirts, and then over here all these people are wearing red shirts, and then in the section over here they're all wearing like blue shirts, and they all have little sayings on them. And finally, about halfway to Haiti, I figured out these were all people on a missions trip. They were going to bring Jesus to Haiti, and that's a good thing. The interesting thing, I was sitting next to a multimillionaire guy. He told me his whole story. He was going to build a $100+ million resort in Haiti, and he didn't have anything to do with faith. Interestingly, 2/3 of Haiti's workforce is unemployed. Digicel is spending $1.2 billion in telecom. Haiti's untapped metals, according to research, $20 billion of untapped metal still in the ground in Haiti. So resorts are being built, coffee's being grown, clothing's being made. There's a huge opportunity for faith-based leaders to use their business as a vehicle for the kingdom of God. There are places where investment's being encouraged, Haiti being one of them, and we can bring hope as faith-based leaders. We don't need to go with a t-shirt. We can go with a briefcase and a business plan. Why not? I mean, I was there, and the despair is palpable on the eyes of the people you pass by the hundreds. They're longing for meaning and hope and purpose and all those things in David Aldrich's book, but they have no possible way to get any of that, maybe save for some of you starting a business in Haiti. It's interesting, Jesus, I think we misunderstand his life sometimes. Think about the parables. Of 132 public appearances, 122 were in the workplace. That's 90%. Of 52 parables, 45 had a workplace context. That's 86%. Of 40 miracles, 39 of them were in the workplace. Might as well call that 100%. Jesus owned a business until he was 30. We call it a carpenter shop. If you look at the original Greek, it's not carpenter. The word is tekton. Tekton means more like a general contractor than it means carpenter. It means it could be wood, metal, different materials, but somebody who ran a business. Jesus ran a business, and it wasn't just a little single craft business. So it's good business, we learn from places like Harvard and other people doing work. It's good business to treat people with dignity, value, and worth. Price Waterhouse study said employees that are engaged are 50% more productive for you. Harvard Business School said there's a linkage between employees, customers, and profit. Think about that. Day one, new employee, they come in, you give them a shirt to work. It's got the stains from the last guy's deodorant. You didn't have time to clean it. You take him over to the desk, you say, sorry, I didn't have time to clean it up. It's still got marks from the last guy. And by the way, this is your chair. It's still broken, but we'll get you another one. And then you tell them, guess what? We really care about our customers. Boy, you better treat them right. While you're wearing the last guy's t-shirt in the desk with the chair that's falling apart. As Christian leaders, we know it's true that we have to treat people with dignity, value, and respect, but sometimes we just forget. Because we think and we forget that there's a linkage between employees and profit. And in the middle is how we treat them. Let's think about this for a minute. Genesis. People are created in the image of God. If people are created in the image of God, people are creative. If we value their input and we provide opportunities for them to express feedback on their work, then we value them. If we're promoters and sponsors of the potential of the people we lead, isn't that better than just saying, by the way, Sam, here's 4 things I want you to do. By the way, Mary, this is how we do it here. And she never gets a chance to do it the way she would want to do it here. But remember back in the day when you were one of those 7 billion people who went to work and didn't own the company? And you kind of sat there and did everything the boss wanted you to do? And what did you think? Man, I wish I could do some of this the way that I know would be good. But I have to do it the way They want to be good. Another principle from Scripture, people have value because God intensely values people. They're his most valued creation. And so we want to help them to be something and to be all that God wanted them to be, not to just do your work. God created us with certain gifts. Therefore, as leaders, we should recognize the gifts of the people that work with us. So as leaders formed in the image of God, leading people formed in the image of God, we should lead our companies on the principles of God, don't you think? A visual for me on this comes from a poem I have liked for a long time. I'm going to read it to you a little bit, but I spent some time with a creative person named Austin Ranson, who's here tonight. Where are you, Austin? He's in the back. Well, go get him. That would be great. I met with him over about 3 Denny's Grand Slam breakfasts, and I said, what would it be like if you sketched a cross at the center of the marketplace? What would it be like if we could see visually what it would look like to remind us that we need to raise the cross, raise the question of God, raise the question of God high in the marketplace? And we thought and talked, and he sketched and sent me some drawings, and this is the result. Wow. Did you think it was going to be a cross standing on the sidewalk or something? But in the negative space, as the guy's looking up, holding his work, ready to go to work, there's the cross at the center of the marketplace. Now, here's a little treat for you before you go. That's why AJ's not here right now, because he's signing 346 drawings for you and numbering them all, so you all get to take this home. And there he is right there. Woo! That's what happens when you realize that people have creative talent, because AJ's made in the image of God, so he has creative talent. I don't have any of that creative talent. I have different creative talents. But if I said, listen, I want you to draw it like this, like this, like that, like this, like this, then I take away his creative ability, right? So everybody's going to get one of those when they leave. And now, let's see. Brian Thatcher, are you here somewhere? Brian. Come here. We got a little something for you. I don't know where it is. Do we know where it is? AJ, Ryan, somebody? If not, we're going to fake it. What we have for you, sir. Well, first I need to introduce you. You guys, this is Brian Thatcher. If it wasn't for Brian Thatcher, there would be no Convene. Just saying. Because one day he said, what if we got Christian CEOs and we put them in a group and we shared biblical values and principles and we taught them how to do great business, and that's why there's 400 people here tonight. So thank you. So what we have for you soon, it's here somewhere, is we have one of one, print one of 350 signed for you in a large frame.
Thank God for that.
So come back in a minute and we're going to have it for you. All right. All right. As a business leader, you're running a group of people who are doing work. You're an agent of God's plan. Your business can be a vehicle for use by God in the marketplace. George Mcleod died in 1991. He was a Scottish soldier, clergyman, founder of a community called Iona. Who's ever heard of Iona? Oh my gosh, 5 people. That's awesome. The rest of you, get ready. He started Iona because he saw a gap between the church and the workplace. So he got students, pastors, and the unemployed to work together and connected the church to the industrial age. Oh my gosh, that's like gigantic. Here's the poem that he wrote. Remember, he left the church and said to people, we're going to connect the church and the marketplace. He said, I simply argue that the cross be raised again at the center of the marketplace, as well as on the steeple of the church. I'm recovering the claim that Jesus was not crucified on a cross between two candles, not crucified in a cathedral between two candles, but on a cross between two thieves. On the town's garbage heap, at a place that was so cosmopolitan, they had to write his title in Hebrew and Greek and Latin. At a place where cynics talk smut and soldiers gamble. But that's where he died. And that's what he died about. And that's what churchmen ought to be about. So when we raise the cross at the center of the marketplace, we have a chance to ransom the soul of workers from the grip of the world and use our company as a vehicle for use by God. I think when it happens right, it kind of looks like this. Take a look at this clip from Les Mis.
Hey! Come and suffer, you are weary. And the night is cold out here. Though our lives are very humble, what we have to share. There is wine here to revive you. There is bread to make you strong. There's a bed to rest till morning. Rest from pain and rest from wrong. Bless the food we eat today. Bless our dear sister and our honored guest.
Down! Stay there! Monsignor, we have your silver. We caught this man red-handed.
You had the nerve to say you gave him this?
That is right. But my friend, you left so early. Surely something slipped your mind. You forgot. I gave these also. Would you leave the best behind? Monsieur, release him. This man has spoken true. I commend you for your duty. Now God's blessing go with you. But remember this, my brother. See in this some higher plan. You must use this precious silver to become an honest man. By the witness of the martyrs, by the passion and the blood, God has raised you out of darkness. I have saved your soul for God.
Well, that was a story of a priest ransoming the soul of someone. What about your business? as the CEO. Can you ransom the soul of someone who works for you just because they work for you? I think you can. And when that happens, we will make culture better. Humans will flourish, and they can have the curtain pulled back on the meaning and purpose of life. And when that happens, your company, our country, our countries, and our entire world can be changed as we move towards God's ordained purposes.